Hi, this is Subarctic beekeeper, one of the many, checking in on my super hive. It is almost the start of the second week of October. We have no snow. We should have snow right now. I'm done talking about the weather. Been doing all summer. But what this has done is put us beekeepers and our bees in a unusual situation. They've put up stores. They're supposed to have slowed down because the temperature will be colder, so the metabolism slows down. So they're not flying as much typically. Because our weather has been warmer, they're flying all over the place. So they're expending a lot of energy. This means we are feeding them not only for them to continue to survive, but also so they can zoom around. I'm gonna put some smoke over here. You can see my chintzy entrance reducer that I use that actually works really well. It's an old towel. Works great. I can fit it to where I want. I can open it, I can close it, absorbs moisture. That's my thing. You do you. This colony has done better than all the other colonies. There's always at least one for me. Maybe there is for you as well. Every time I've looked in this colony this summer, they've come out with a harsh ready to attack. They've been very defensive. I'm going to try to mitigate that, which means I'm going to try to do what I can right now to prevent them from feeling like they need to defend themselves. So some things I can do. I can move slow. I can give them a little bit of smoke. I can be quick and effective with whatever I'm doing. And today that is feeding. So I'll have all my stuff prepared. I use a camping ketchup container full of sugar syrup on just about every hive check to drizzle across the tops of the frames. I can make sure that my smoker is fueled up and working, and it is. Doing great. You're doing great. Make sure I've got my tools out. I'm missing my hive tool. I always carry more than one. I can be as least amount disruptive as possible. So for me to do that, I need to have my stuff set out, and I need to think about where things are going to go before I start disassembling this hive. I treated for mites yesterday, and I had treated for mites 4 days before that. So I'm going to check the mite board. I had found some mites on the board after the second to most recent treatment. We don't have a mite load that is safe for us. Our mite load is 0. We need to have a 0 mite load. So we don't have any mites going into winter because our winters are so long and those mites reproduce like they're trying to repopulate the earth. And when they're warm and cozy in that cluster, they are reproducing. That female, the red female that we see, produces about 5 males. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at this mite board. I gotta tell you, the mite drop is big. Uh-oh. It's good because I don't want those mites on my bees. But I'm concerned because there are so many. I take pictures while I'm doing my hive inspection. I'm going to take a picture of the hive with the mite board and then a close-up of the mite board. There are maybe 100 mites on this board. So those of you who don't treat for mites, keep in mind that you're not doing anyone any favors. You're not helping the bees develop resistance. You aren't doing anything other than allowing the spread of disease. Many diseases, in fact, that are lethal to bees. So if anything, you're doing more damage by not treating for mites, however you might treat them. A lot of mite treatments have temperature requirements. There's Apogard, there's oxalic acid vapors, there's little things you hang in between the frames. Whatever works for you in your area. Check with your local bee club or beekeeper in your area. Find a forum on Facebook or something, or maybe Cooperative Extension knows. But find out how to treat your hives for mites. Your bees are going to be healthier. You're going to get more honey. But also, you're not going to be spreading the gunk to everybody else's apiary. People like me who take really good care of their bees. So with all the effort that I do take care of my bees and keep them healthy, when there are bees in the area that have not been treated, those mites can jump from that bee to my bee and boom. So please treat for mites. Alright, I've given them a little smoke. I'm going to move slow. I'm going to check my feed first, my sugar syrup feed. I'm still feeding them Hive Alive inside the sugar syrup. This is how it starts right now. There's bees clogging up the entrance so they can't get the sugar syrup. There's dead bees. I need to clean those bees out. If I remove this little cover, they go a little nutty. And I'm going to remove the cover, and I'm going to do it slowly. A couple of them have already gotten stuck. I'm going to do it slow. You can see what this looks like. If you use polystyrene hives that have top feeders like this, be aware that they're easily lost. They're invisible. They're clear. If you do lose one, you're going to have to make your own. I've done it. It's worked out okay. What I did was got some plastic board from Home Depot, measured out another feeder that I had to the correct measurements, used my skill saw, cut it, and then used a heat gun to bend it so that it would slide in. So I'm clearing out the dead bees from the feeder so that they can access the syrup. I'm doing it slower than normal. I'm putting those dead bees right in front of the hive. I don't want to encourage wasps, but for me to fling these behind me is going to be a jerky motion, and this hive is sensitive to jerky motions, rightly so. So honeybees are amazing, right? They each individually have to make decisions, as well as make decisions as a colony. They have to decide where to forage, what to forage for. When they leave the hive, they know what the hive needs. Isn't that great? It's like never forgetting your grocery list. I'm going to use smoke to get these bees to go back down, because they've come up to figure out what's going on. I want them to go back down so I can put that cover back in. Everything is sticky these days. Everything's sticky with syrup and fondant and pollen patty. I'm going to continue to feed these bees. I know some people in the Yukon have stopped feeding their bees. We have a very similar climate and environment as they do. And they're having colder temperatures than we are. We don't have the cold. We have it at night, but daytime, although the window of the daylight hours is getting shorter. So the sun that's right in front of me right now is going to be disappearing pretty soon, and the temperature will drop significantly. I did not do my normal vamp. This colony is out of food other than the stores, so they've been real active. I need to supplement them to make sure they have the extra juice. And I'm going to take a picture. I track their feeding. I track the mites. I track swarm cells, supersedure cells, queen cells, weight, etc. It all comes in this little app called B+. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I like the app, it's real simple. I would typically carry a little notebook out here and write notes with my sticky gloves. And then try to unstick the pages when I got back to the house to record the data in my computer. I've got data now for about, 7 years. So likely, actually, not likely for sure, there's no brood in this colony right now. But I'm going to give them pollen patty, which is fats and protein, because that is also some of what they've stored on their frames. And I'm going to put it on the left-hand side, if I can get them to move. So that way, I remember where it is before I hive them up next week or the week after for the season. Again, I'm trying to make this as least interruptive as possible. We have some burr comb here that needs to be removed. It interferes with the closure of the hive. I want a tight closure because the nights have been getting so cool, in the 20s, 20 degree Fahrenheit range. I'll add fondant as well, and I'll remove that before winter because the fondant, the Hive Alive fondant, has too much moisture. And our bees are going to be hived up for about 6 months. Our bees spend more time, our subarctic bees spend more time in their hives, closed up, unable to forage or do anything, than they do actually doing the honeybee thing. Pressing this down to flatten it. Doesn't help that the gloves get sticky. But again, I want that tight closure. Thinking ahead, these bees, if they're going to get defensive on me today, are going to do it when I put the liquid feeder back on, because I'm taking up space with the solids and they'll get squished if I don't get them out of the way. I have a little guest here. She's learning the hard way. She got stung about 5 times a few weeks ago. So she was real curious about a box of bees I laid down on the ground, on a lid, actually. I'd removed the honey super full of bees to look inside. And she stuck her head in, and oh, they got her bad. She looks like a little black bear. And she yelped all the way home. These bees are moving slow. A little bit, very docile. This is the most docile that they've been all season. That can be for a few reasons. They could be sick. They could be hungry. They could be chilly. It's good to know the biology behind things, the reasons behind things, so when you're trying to figure out what's going on, you have some information in your brain database from which to draw upon. The more you read and learn and research, the better beekeeper you're going to be. I'm not going to look for the queen today. She's been solid. She's a red queen from last year, and she has done a great job this year. It's not often that we have queens that last very long. Oh, it's full of bees. My plan to make this as least invasive as possible is not going to come to fruition. You know, it'd be nice if there was a thing that we could put inside the hive that held the solid feed. But the only place to put it is right on top of these frames. And if you use polystyrene frames like I do, polystyrene hives, excuse me, you know that there's not any extra room. I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's because of where they're made. Some are made in the US. These are made in Finland. I know that they have nice hardy winters there, so they're adding some winter feed. Here we go. If you're using a wooden Langstroth hive, they've got plenty of room on top. Doesn't cause any problems. I don't want to squish any bees. I am going to smoke these bees underneath here. Did you know that to artificially inseminate a honeybee, they're put to sleep with carbon dioxide? A non-lethal dose. We're going to try this. That lets them go to sleep for a while, and then they're inseminated. I took my ties off, my straps, because I needed them to move some hives I adopted. So I'm not going to be able to compress this so well. A friend of mine tells me that if you just set it on, they'll find their way in, and the lid will settle. I'm gently brushing. I'm not doing the slam, the honeybee slam. This is the least defensive they have been. Typically I take 1 or 2 for the team with this hive. I'm going to smoke it all around. Hive is closed up, and I'm going to move on to the next hive. So this is all preparation for winter. The reality is, preparation for winter starts in the spring. That's when you start preparing your bees for wintering. By taking care of them all through the spring, and then into fall, they are strong. Queen's strong, everyone's healthy. If you just wait till the end of the season to prepare them for winter, your odds are not good. But maybe you live in a place where the winters are super mild and it doesn't matter. Beekeeping is local. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Ukraine is winning. This video is copyrighted and all rights reserved. If you want to learn more about me and us, the Subarctic beekeeper at Happy Creek Farm, north of Fairbanks, Alaska, you can check us out on Instagram and on YouTube and on Twitter and on Facebook and our website, which has been recently updated. That's it. Have a good day. Bye.